Hi there, welcome friend, welcome to Homekeepers. How are you today? So glad to be here, so glad that you're there, and all the wonderful things that we can discuss and bring to you that are important, so important to your life, to the life of your families. Really, no matter what stage you are in life, like I'm way out there. I've got 8 great-grandchildren and 5 grandchildren, but every stage in life you have issues that affect you and the whole family. I know that I've never in my life prayed as much as I do now, because I got to pray for all these family members, you know. And so whatever stage of life you're in, it's very important, and glad you're there. Today we're going to talk about something that is so very important, and that's education. We're going to talk about public education, and if you watch the program regularly, you've met Heide Janshon. When she sits down, I want to recap how I met her and how she became a part of this program. And then we've got this great big announcement. So don't touch that dial. Don't go away. We have something exciting to tell you. Also, I'm going to join Stephanie, and a lot of people have already remarked how really good it smells in the studio. We're going to fix cheesy garlic chicken. This looks to me like a winner. It might be one that you will want to fix, and it's one of those that is so easy, it's absolutely embarrassing, okay? But maybe you could, you know, concoct a story that it took you all day to do it, like maybe you grew your own herbs or something like that. But you're going to be interested in this one because I'm not sure we've ever done anything quite this easy. And before I join her, though, I think on this program and maybe one more, we're going to offer the book about Billy Graham, written by Sir David Frost. And it's kind of a compilation of the interviews that they had through the years. And Sir Frost was such a magnificent, such a good interviewer. And so I encourage you to get it now because what we have now we cannot get anymore. So the information is coming up on your screen. You can order it, you know, through the mail or by calling the 800 number, 1-800-229-0059 is that number. And I think most people use that nowadays, but we have the address also. If you want to write to us, and for that gift of $25, we'll get it out to you. It's Homekeepers Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And I've joined Stephanie over here this morning. And
this morning?
It looks
Where
good,
are you?
doesn't it?
Listen.
This is disgusting.
This is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done, and it's going to taste so good. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't wait to do this at home because it's ridiculous. That's all it is.
Yes, and all you need really is to keep one thing in your cupboard and a few chicken breasts in your freezer.
I have chicken in the freezer all the time, Okay.
Okay, I want you tell them, because this is easy. We can do this second.
Okay.
She gets home and her crock pot has burned up her whole meal. Was it a crock pot
it was
or
a
slow cooker?
Same thing. It's not. Well, it wasn't a pressure cooker.
No.
No, it was a crock pot.
They started out calling it crock pot,
yeah, we'll
and
call
then
it
they
a crock pot.
went uptown or something.
Yeah, so I go home, and I'm like, what is that smell? And I had put barbecue sauce on slow ribs, which I've done a million times. I mean, through 27 years. Mm-hmm. I exaggerate a little bit. But I come home, and the barbecue sauce is just scorched to the side of the crock pot, and they're just burnt to a crisp. And I was like, this is... never happened before. I've had them on longer than that.
How long have you had that slow cooker?
For a long. It's in the garbage now because now I don't trust it.
Don't
but
get those things fixed,
so my husband's like, oh sure, my wife cooks on TV, but she burns my dinner, and he's in there like going, maybe we can salvage it. He's like trying to pick bits and pieces out. I'm like, yeah, no, there's no salvaging this. So I had chips and dip for dinner. No.
Yeah, but she's always preached to you, you know, about preparing things ahead. You did have some chicken ahead that you could...
I had, actually what I had was I had sloppy joes that we had before that I had frozen, so all I had to do was take it out of the freezer, thaw it out a little bit, and we still had dinner at home. Yeah.
So anyway, I had never heard of one of those just burning up everything.
My low was evidently not low anymore was the problem, so that's why I just threw it out, because I can't take those chances. No. That's too much. Okay, are you ready?
The important thing here, and I didn't know that this soup mix came in so many different varieties. I was just
This
the onion thing.
smells so good. It's usually just get the onion dip mix. Yeah.
But this is Lipton savory herb with garlic, and it's completely different than probably what you were used to.
Yeah, so we have chicken breast.
So you have to tear this off, though. You have to do that.
That's the hard job, right? That's the hard. Okay, so you put that in the bowl. You have chicken breast. I have fresh tomatoes, which is going to add a nice fresh flavor to this.
Cut those up.
Okay, are you guys ready? Is everyone watching? Okay.
And this
chicken breast.
Yeah, and
you
I
have a
think this
third of a cup of water.
Cup of water.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be 1 tablespoon of oil, so maybe don't use all of that.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Look at me. Now I have to mix this.
She's chefing. Look at her.
Ugh.
So I have chicken breast. I have
hard.
fresh tomatoes that are just cut up. The pan is sprayed. Always do yourself a favor, those who do the dishes especially. So easy. So ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay, tomatoes. Okay, are you ready? Here we're taking the.
This is the hard part,
right?
too.
It's the savory herb with garlic. Mm-hmm. It's water and oil. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People, really, you pour it over.
That's the hard part.
Oh my goodness. You bake it.
That's it.
You bake it. Well, not well. You bake it for like 20 minutes, okay? Mm-hmm. And then you put cheese on it, and you bake it and let the cheese melt.
Hey, Brookie's getting married. I bet she could do this. Couldn't you, Brooke? No, let's see. Okay,
I have faith in you, Brooke. I do.
Yeah.
That's going to be hot, hot, hot. Look at this. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, if you had a spoon, I'd spoon a little of that.
You know what? This looks like something you get at a restaurant, and it smells like it, too. Uh-huh. And it took 2 minutes to prepare.
Mm-hmm. Like I say, if you had got chicken breasts in your freezer.
And you have that tomatoes, that Lipton Recipe Secrets?
Mmm.
Come on.
They will think, your guests will think.
That's delicious.
That you spent hours combining the herbs and the flavoring. Mmm.
That's crazy. So you bake it with just like this. You bring it out. You put cheese on it. You put it back in the oven. Let the cheese melt. I mean,
very
seriously.
good. Very good.
You can't get any easier.
If you want this, I still have food in my mouth. You tell them.
If you want this recipe, it's super easy to get. You can email, which is always the easiest, and it's free. But if you don't want to email, the information will come up on the screen.
We'll get it to you.
And we're going to get to Heidi. And
yeah,
we got big news.
We got really big news. Don't go away. Okay, information's coming up. Get it, and then you meet Heidi if you haven't met her already.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
All right, excuse me, but Heidi joins us about once a month to talk about education. And I want to go back over our, I was looking for someone who could talk about Common Core. I believe it was Susan Pippin, who was your pastor's wife at the time, who told me about you.
Right.
And so whatever you had presented there was, I pulled it up, I could see it, and I could tell that you were really versed on it, and you were what I wanted, which was a concerned parent instead of somebody, you know, from the government and
right.
all. And it really kind of grabbed a hold, so we decided to do once a month education. And you were very successful in what you were doing, and probably are still doing it,
Yeah.
some of it. But you began to begin to substitute teach.
Correct.
I would have to say this, though. She's the kind of concerned mother with her kids' education that every parent should be. You were always in touch with the teachers.
Always.
And all that. And so I've watched this progression. I think, God, you put it in my heart to Common Core, because I didn't like what I was hearing about it, and watch this move along. And now we have this announcement. You make it.
Well, I have officially thrown my name in the hat to run for school board in Pasco County. So here I've got my little
Yeah.
Janshon for Pasco, that's me.
And we'll have the website up, and also I asked her to give us a little civics lesson today. Probably there's a whole lot of people, really like myself, who do not exactly know what a school board does and where does their authority begin and end.
Well, it's very interesting because the school board members are elected. One thing that most people don't know is that each school board member is responsible for a district within the county. However, the thing that I am hearing over and over again is, oh, well, I don't live in your district, so I won't be voting for you. And I said, oh, no. The entire county votes on all school board members. 4, 5, 6, however many school board members there are. So campaigning has to go across the entire county. The next thing is that since they are elected, the only way to replace them is, of course, natural attrition, in case if something happens to them, if they resign, or if they are up for re-election. If they decide not to run again, then naturally someone else will be voted into their position. If they run unopposed, well, yay, that's awesome. However, I happen to be running against the incumbent, and she has been in office for 8 years. So I feel that there needs to be someone who's closer to students, parents, the community, that is really involved, that has a voice. I've said it, and now I've kind of made it my slogan, is that I don't desire this position so that my voice can be heard, but that more voices can be heard. Because that is who your school board is. They're your representative, your voice on the school board in the district. So what they vote on is they will approve recommendations brought to them by the district or the superintendent, and they vote and approve the budget.
And their vote is final on whatever the issue is?
Yes.
What about curriculum?
They have a little bit of latitude in that. If it's brought before the school board to vote on by the superintendent and his staff, then yes, they do have to approve that. They approve policies as well, so they can recommend policies and set policies within the district. They also approve the student progression plan, which is fleshed out by the district staff members. And sometimes the school board members can have a hand in that if they wish. They can give their input. They can.
Okay, what's an example of that?
So student progression plan is, say, we've talked about third grade retention. Most everybody is very familiar with that. They set out a set of criteria within the district, because I promise you, I have talked to the Department of Education in Tallahassee often over the past 5 years, asking them where is the oversight from the Department of Education over the independent districts. And they said, well, each district has their own progression plan, and we only demand or mandate that they supply that to us. They have a timeline, and they have to submit it to the state for approval. So that's one of their mandates. But the state doesn't have a hand in that student progression plan. So a district can set out, based on the Florida statutes of progression, say third graders must sit for the Florida Standards Assessment, and they have to score at least a level 3 to be promoted to fourth grade. However, the bigger picture is then, well, what exactly goes into a student portfolio if you don't have that score? Because the statutes are clear, they say that the third grade Florida Standards Assessment is not the sole determiner for retention. So that means just because the child scored a 2 doesn't mean they're automatically failed. So that's all written in this student progression plan, how the district decides that that student can progress.
And they have that authority?
They have that authority.
How many members are on a school board?
It depends on the size of the district. So our district, I mean our county, has 5 school board members.
Majority rule?
Majority rule.
On every...
That's right.
On every... okay, what if... How much communication do you have with parents if you're on the board?
As much as you like. You can go and
It's
visit.
up to the parent, though.
It's up to the parent, yeah. So the parents need to reach out to the school board members. In fact, I was thinking about going around taking a poll and asking people in my particular area, district, do you know who your school board member is? Because I've asked that before. People have no idea.
Oh, I'm sure.
They don't know their names, they don't know what they do. Honestly, it's hard to know because they don't post or publish any kind of newsletter saying this is what I've done this month.
I think parents have no clue of the opportunity they have.
No.
First of all, be in touch with your teacher. I have someone very close to me who's been a teacher for more than 25 years. And he says it's very hard to get a parent for a teacher-parent meeting. And that blows my mind. It's like, okay, I'm turning my child over for this many hours per week and forget it.
That's right.
You're in charge.
Yeah. So the parents will mostly rely on email or that sort of communication, but to get a sit down with a parent, yeah, it's very difficult to get some of those parents into the classroom.
Start with the teacher before you go to the school board member.
That's right.
And know what's going on. And that's one thing that Heidi has always done a long time before she was even substitute teaching, or you knew who their teachers were.
Oh, yeah, and they knew who I was.
yeah, that's the sad part. You build a relationship with them. You've got something so important in common, and that's your child.
It's a partnership. It has to be. Education has to be something. And you know what? People don't really realize, and they don't take this in all earnestness or seriously, that the parent is the ultimate deciding factor in your child's education. But they have relinquished a lot of their responsibilities. Oh, my kid is in middle school? Great, I'll drop them off and I'll pick them up at the end of the day, or I'll see them when I get home from work. They are on their own now, but they're not grown.
And if you're not checking what happened during the day, this, that, or the other, you might not have any idea what they're being taught.
No, and now that I'm on campus, I see a lot, and I know I see a whole lot more than parents have any idea, even any idea of what their own child is capable of.
Now, yours are about middle school now?
They're 6th grade and 8th grade, yes.
Now, these shootings going on in the school, it leaves you speechless. What can you say when somebody goes in and mows down 16, 17 kids in 5 minutes? Now, I've often thought the Word of God is powerful. It comes through the Holy Spirit. If you had the 10 Commandments in there, and every day a kid would read, "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill." Those are the words of the Lord.
Right.
I think it would make a difference. Now, if you had a group of parents that would say, "We'd like to see the 10 Commandments posted in the classrooms or in God We Trust on something," where do they begin?
Well, you know what? There is a group of parents and a group of community folks who actually did petition the legislators, and this last session in Florida, in the Florida legislature, they did pass legislation that said every school must prominently post "In God We Trust."
Yeah.
So it's
hooray for Florida!
it's petitioning your legislators, but I will tell you,
Yeah,
they don't listen to everything, and they certainly don't follow that. But this particular thing, I was
But you don't
surprised.
take that to the school board.
No. Then they would have to, because they will follow the letter of the law.
If there was ever a shooting in a school when I was a kid, I didn't hear about it, and I think we would have.
Yeah.
But it's the breakdown of the home. It's the breakdown of the way kids are being raised, and also everything that they're being presented.
There's a lot of stimulus. There's a lot of stimulus, and I just sent our school board members last night and our superintendent a video of, if anybody has a chance to watch it, it is the governor of Kentucky, and he is talking and addressing gun control. And he goes through a systematic, this is what has happened over the many, many years in our country to bring us to this point. Matt Bevins, I believe that's his name. Fabulous.
Now, where could they see this?
They can find it on YouTube, they can find it on Facebook, they can find it on his website, they can just Google Kentucky governor. Amazing. I mean, he is so eloquent in what he presents? And I said, yeah, I absolutely believe it, that our kids are so stimulated by tremendous amounts.
Yes.
And what we think about is what we bring about. We know that the meditations of our, right? And so what we meditate on, whether it's good or bad, that is going to be.
I didn't raise my kids, you know, there was no technology. There were no video games. There was nothing like that. But I think parents should absolutely realize they are the parent. They're in control, and you absolutely put limits on these phones. And one commentator brought out that a kid can sit with a video game that kills a lot of people, but those little people get back up.
That's right.
And is there somewhere in their mind, you know, well, this isn't real.
This
you know,
isn't real.
It's not real when you shoot someone, and it's totally, I think, in the realm of the parents to know what's going on.
Well, as in Parkland, the shooter is still alive. Somebody has an opportunity to sit with that young man and try to figure out what possessed him to do what he did. And I would have to say, of course it's the enemy, it's demonic, it's Satan, it's something that has desensitized our youth to that sort of action. There's a real disrespect for life.
For life, period.
There's no value on life in general, and people will really go, oh, what are you talking about? I can't believe that you say that. But it's really very true.
Well, we started with abortion. We took prayer out of the schools, started with abortion, which absolutely devalued life. And we're seeing this progression now, and those of us who know the Lord and know what the Bible says shouldn't be too surprised. If you just tuned in, earlier we announced that Heide, through, I think, just process of learning and growing and walking and trying to be in tune with what the Lord has for her, announced that she's running for school board for Pasco County in Florida. When did you decide to do this? I think I told you you should once.
I think you did, and I've had it in my head, and people said, you would be great, you should run for school board. I said, well, I need a lot more experience. And part of that experience, I said, I couldn't speak intelligibly about something that I didn't have any experience in. So I said, well, I've got to get in the classrooms. I've been a teacher over the years, but it's been private teaching, voice and one-on-one choral directing, that sort of thing, but getting in the classroom. So I made it a point last year to not only substitute teach in our neighborhood schools, but to branch out and substitute in Title I schools. So I could see from kindergarten through high school what was happening.
A lot of different grades,
That's
too.
correct. So elementary school, kindergarten, special needs classes, Title I schools in middle school and high school, and then our own home schools. Oh, it's been enlightening.
Yeah, you know, and I wonder how many board members have that kind of experience. I bet a lot of them have absolutely no experience in a classroom. And yours has been so broad, from the little ones,
Yes.
and you've done a lot of high school as well. And so I think you ought to pray for Heide. And
Thank you.
But was there one moment that said, I'm going to do this? It's a big step.
It was. I decided after the new year. I decided after January, okay, I need to, because we constantly say as Christians, wish somebody would get off the sidelines. Where are the great candidates? I wish I had somebody I could vote for that I was really behind, that I really trusted and believed in. And I thought, I need to stop saying it. I need to just do it.
Well, certainly we wish you all the best, and I don't know, I've said so many times through the years that if you're aggravated with the president or governor or whoever is in there and you have not voted, don't say a word. You lost your right when you didn't go into the voting booth. And I just can look back and think of all the opportunities that were missed through the years because the Christians didn't show up at the polls. So it's time to, I don't think it's really too late to take this nation back, and it should be on every level, from the White House down to the schoolyard, that we do everything we can to get people in that are going to be following the Lord and know His ways and be that kind of a leader. Hey, you stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
I again want to remind you that you can still get the book about Billy Graham by Sir David Frost. And we've been offering it for a few days, and this will be the last time that we offer it. And when these books are gone, there won't be any more. So let me remind you for that gift of $25 that you will send to us, or you can use the 800 number, and we'll be glad to get it out to you. The following article appeared in the American Institute of Criminal Law and Criminology, written by the Crime Commissioner of Minnesota in 1926. This was commissioned by the governor at that time, Theodore Christensen. The Crime Commissioner wrote, "Every baby starts life as a little savage. He's completely selfish and self-centered, wants what he wants, when he wants it, his bottle, his mother's attention, his playmate's toy, or his uncle's watch. Deny him these and he seethes with aggression that would be murderous were he not so helpless. He is dirty, he has no morals, no knowledge, no skills. This means that all children, not just certain children, are born delinquent. If permitted to continue in the self-centered world of his infancy, given free rein to his impulsive actions to satisfy his wants, every child would grow up a criminal, a thief, a killer, a rapist." Those words are not mine, rather they are the words of a crime commissioner. His words might be raw, but they certainly have a ring of truth. That's why, more than ever, we need parents who raise their children according to the Bible, which is the best child-rearing book ever written. That's also why we need more than ever, we need Christian teachers in all grades of our public school system, as well as our institutes of higher learning. And when given the opportunity, let's put Christians on our school boards. Think about it. And remember, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.